Okay, take a little pause there to get all these lines fixed. And I'll show you how to do what I did here in class, but it took a minute to get everything to line up right. So what I did is I put in some hard dimensions so the lines wouldn't move anymore, meaning the walls when I say lines. So we have our 4-foot corner here. We have a 9-foot here for the laundry room, 3-foot hallway, and our 5-foot powder room. That leaves this space here to whatever is left over for that mudroom. Now what I need to do is I need to make some wall adjustments here now. So I'm going to use my match properties right up here underneath the structure label. This is your match properties, so I can take this wall and make this wall the same thing. So that's going to adjust the vertical height of it. So we need to check that on there. And then this is an exterior wall that's going to be matched this. So they match this wall to this wall. And that says shift things over a little bit. Okay, so I want to, but that's still within the range because it's the thickness of the brick. So I don't have to worry about that. That can be fine. And so now I'm kind of moving along over here. This wall right here is going to stay as a 2x6, at least up to this point. The wall behind your toilet or your water closet needs to be a 2x6 for plumbing purposes. So I'm going to cancel that out. So I'm going to check this height now, and I need to adjust it back to 7. Okay, and that's to make what this little mudroom is. So use a corner trim, close that off. Now there's another little closet in here. Kind of a vague reference as to what that is. So I'm just going to do an offset, and I'm going to do 2 feet. That's a really deep closet, but if I'm going to put coats in there, I need at least 2 feet. So we're going to do that offset, 2 feet. This wall, oops, it's not wanting to offset. Let's see if we can get that to cooperate. That's odd. That's clear down here because I did the wrong size. So let's take those out. I must have done 20 feet. I did 24 inches. Yay, 2 feet. So, meaning I put in 24 inches, but I really want 2 feet. Do that. There's my little closet area. It could be a little deeper than that. We might as well play with it a little bit. We want the inside to be 2 feet. That looks better. Now, I've been doing trims and I've been doing corners, but this case, then there's another way to do it. You can just select the wall. Each wall has a little blue dot. You can grab that dot and you can stretch it. Just hold your left mouse button down and drag that over to where you want it to go. And you can use that to modify walls. Okay, so there's our mudroom all set up, ready to go. And now I'm going to continue on. Now, this is the wall that we talked about earlier that goes all the way through the whole house. So I'm just going to take that wall right now, grab that blue dot, and stretch it over. Because it's going to go well across the house. And I'll put holes in it as I need to later. But that's going to become my basis of things. All right, now here we have is the breakfast nook. Let's go back here and look at the sheet here a little bit. There's your breakfast nook. We just put that wall going all the way across. And that nook is kind of wherever you want to put it. It's kind of centered in this kitchen. So this kitchen is 13.5 by 13.5. So if we take half of 13.5, that's going to tell us about where the middle of this is. So let's go ahead and do it that way. In order to do that, I need some lines to work with. And those lines are called model lines. So in the architectural tab, you have a model line. And then grab the corner right there. And then pull it to the left so I can see it. And it's going to be a green line. Now that green line will never ever print. So I never have to delete this or erase it, but I probably will. But now I'm going to offset that. And I want to go half of 13.5. Oh, that's always fun to have numbers like that in your head. So let's see, 13 is 6.5. So it's be 6.75 feet. That's what that's going to be. Yeah, so go right there. And that's going to be the middle of my bay window. Well, that's kind of an arbitrary number, but that's okay. We're going to do that. I'm just going to go to architecture wall. I'm just going to draw a wall. Any wall will do. I'm just going to use the basic wall we've got right now. And then come off this midpoint. And then come down. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say what size that is. I'm going to probably go down maybe a 6-foot window there. 4 feet. Then I come at a 45-degree angle. And I come about 3.5 feet. And call that good for right now. Okay, so that's going to be the basis of my bay window. Oops, got one more little piece to put in there. Let's go back 1 foot. Right, like that. So 1 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. Okay, and that's going to be what my wall is. Now this doesn't have brick on it. So that's a little frustrating. And it's also not quite where I want that. The bay window is not right here. So I'm going to do some moving around. And the move is in the modify. So we go here, we find move. I'm going to take this one and hold the control key and this one. It's a little plus on my cursor. That means I can add with the control key. I'm going to finish that selection. I'm just going to pick a point anywhere on the screen and move up. And I'm going to go up about 2 feet. And I can type that in, or I can use my visual on that timber dimension. That puts me right there. That's about the distance there that I'm going to have. And then I'm going to move both of these. So I'm going to do move again, and then control and add maybe. Let's clear out the selection. We'll do that with a stretch. So I'm going to do move. Right, this one, and this one. Finish, and then I'm going to grab that endpoint right there on the wall and move it right up into the wall, like so. Now I'm going to do a little bit of measurement here. So here's my measure tool. And from here to the wall, it's about 3 feet. Okay, so here's a rule of thumb for you. Rule of thumb means you want to use this as often as you can because it'll save you grief later. When you do a bay window, they're not always over a foundation. They can be what's called cantilevered, which means it just hangs out over the side. The maximum distance you can go from the main support is 3 feet, which is right where I'm at right now. Seems a little heavy to me, so I'm going to do one more move. I'm going to move this wall piece in 1 foot. And this is now going to be the structure for my bay window. Okay, now at that point, I've got it laid out. I'm going to use a mirror. So I'm going to use a mirror right here. And I've got my line for my model line that I can use to mirror about. So I'm going to do mirror. I'm going to select this angle line, control this line, not the vertical one. I'm going to finish that. Then I'm going to select the model line, flip it over, call that good, and then use the corner tool so it's all one piece of line. And that makes my bay window area. I'm also use the corner tool here and close this off. So there's my bay window formed. Now that gives me my point here is I'm going to mirror this one over this. So this model line mirrors over this model line. And it's not mirroring. Why is it not mirroring? Let's cancel that. Do it again. Do a mirror. This line. Over this line. There's my line. This is where my kitchen ends. Okay. Now I'm going to take this guy here and I'm just going to stretch that blue dot again so I know where I'm kind of working. Because the kitchen actually doesn't include everything you'd think it would. It's kind of a interesting dilemma there. We end up here with our size. Let's do another little measure real quick. So this should be, if I do everything, that's a little bit more than what I wanted. So we're going to maybe shift that down a little bit. This area here is quite a bit larger than what, well, it's not quite a bit. It's just a little bit. If I put that number in, it's a little bit, I want about 8 feet is what I was looking for there. And then out of that space. And how do I want to fix that? Do I want to fix that? I don't know if I'll fix it. Then do another mirror. I'm going to take this whole wall here around that same point. And this is the end of where my kitchen is going to be. I'm going to leave that bay window the way it is. I don't mind a larger bay window, especially if I'm putting like a bench type table in that system. But it does give me a little bit of room there to work with as I lay everything out. And it does give me where this wall comes up for the family room. Now, the tricky part here is this line is where the family room measures from. And so you got to fit all your kitchen stuff, including that pantry, has got to fit all inside of here. And it shouldn't be terribly bad to do that. So we should be in good shape. All right, so what I've got here is from this point up is the family room is 18 feet. So I'm going to do an offset, 18 feet, and up to there. So that is where my family room comes. So now I'll go back to architecture wall. I'm just going to throw a wall in along that line, just going to follow it. Then I'm going to match it with this wall. And I'm going to align it. So I'm going to align, and it's going to be the inside. Then I do a corner, and there's the corner of my family room. Now I've got the other side here. I'm just leaving these green lines for now. I do delete them because I don't like them sticking around, but I do delete them out, and that does kind of help a little bit, keeping things a little cleaner. The width on this is also 18. Okay, well, we can do that with mirror again as well. I'm going to actually do it with the other one. I'm going to do this draw a line axis so you can see how that one works. I'm going to take this one wall, and it's selected blue, so I right-click, finish it. I'm just going to pick a space anywhere. I don't care where, because I'm just going to pick a space and draw a line. Ooh, not like that, though. We want a straight line. So do it again. Pick a point, go vertical. So it's there. And then I'm going to use this guy right here and say I want you to be 18 feet. So now I've got my room that's 18 by 18. You corner it so it's down the right size. And at this point, I'm ready to start maybe cleaning up a little bit. Here I've got another wall coming across here. That would be this guy. So let's go ahead and mirror that one over. Keep practicing so you can see how things go. Mirror that. Finish, pick a point, flip it, and I'm going to move it. This one I'm going to just move the wall completely. So I'm going to do a move, pick a point, drag it over here. Whoa, did not like me doing that. It's connected, so it's not going to let me do that. So what happened is it connected to the corresponding walls that you mirror around. So I'm going to break that apart there, and then break this one apart here. And now it's a free agent. So now I can do a move and move it over here close to where it needs to be. Now it's backwards. The wall is backwards. So I'm going to select again. Now I could hit the space bar and flip it over, or these little back and forth arrows, these little flip arrows, will flip it as well. So I can either use that, or I can press the space bar and do the same thing. Whichever one makes you the most efficient in what you do. And then they'll line that up. Corner, and this is the back side of where the kitchen's going to go. And things don't look quite so happy here right now because I've got to get a big old door in there, and which means this kitchen dimension that they've given us is not quite correct, and that's common. Oftentimes when you're looking at drawings that you're reproducing from somebody else, they will modify the dimensions so that what you're doing cannot be, so you can't reproduce what they're doing. You're just kind of being knocked around a little bit. So let's go work through here. This nook is supposed to be 14 foot by 11. So that 14 foot does not include the bay window. So I'm just going to start with some model lines again off the corner because I want this as accurate as we can get it. We'll do an offset of 14 feet. Oops. Forget I got to highlight that. 14. Right there. Now that is where the kitchen starts, which is fine because this wall here is not the kitchen wall. that wall goes down here to this powder room. So we're going to corner that off right now because it's starting to cause grief. So we're going to go here and here. And now this is where my kitchen starts. So 14 feet over. And then from here we go another 13.5. So offset 13.5 here. And that's the back wall of the kitchen. Now this wall is a 2x4 partition, so I'm going to do architecture wall. Whatever's in there is fine. I'm just going to throw a line in there. I'm going to match it up with this guy here. And now my green line is in there somewhere. That's okay. We're going to do a couple of lines. So we've looked at a couple things here. You can take and grab that blue dot and stretch it. Works great, especially when I'm trying to find that green line. I'm going to take that out right now because they bug me. And you're welcome to do the blue dot on this because you just got to connect to this wall and then down to this wall. Or you can use the align tool, pick the wall you want to go to, and then pick the end going to it. And again, pick the wall you want to go to and the end going to it. It's just a little quicker. And this now becomes the makeup of where that kitchen is, which gives you a little bit more room to work with. We do have a pantry in here to build. And we do have on this side that built-in fireplace that we touched. And I notice I've not put the fireplace in on either of these yet. That's usually one of the last things I do on a house. First of all, make sure that's exactly what the client wants. Sometimes they're opposed to the electric or the forced air type fireplaces. So we give them that option. All right, so what we're going to do here is build this kitchen out a little bit. I know this wall is behind the stove. So this is the wall that goes behind the stove. And we've got a pantry back here as well that comes out. And so I'm going to do a little bit of measuring here to see what we got, because we don't have these numbers. There's a door that goes out. So between here and here is 8 feet. So that works pretty good for a 5-foot door. Got 8'11" to work with. So I'm going to do a offset. I'm going to go, I'm going to go 30 inches. 30 inches, or if that's easier for you to do 2.5 feet, same thing. I'm going to bring this wall forward. And this is where the start is. And then a pantry, they don't need to be terribly large, but they do need to have some limits to them. So I'm going to throw a wall in here. I do this a lot, just throw walls in and then modify them. It's a little quicker sometimes. And I'm going to start by saying, okay, whoops, cancel out that command. We got about 5 foot here. That's pretty good. We'll go 5 even for this pantry. That means that all of your stove and your fridge, everything fits in this area. That's kind of tight. It looks tight, but it's really not bad. And then this side, if I offset another 5 feet here, and I just took this wall over 30 inches. So it's a little bit more, but I'm going to take this, then pull this down, go back to corner tool, corner here, corner here. This will become my pantry. This will be my bookshelves or my fireplace or whatever's going to go in there. Again, check the dimensions again, just to make sure it's everything I want. 5, not quite, 4'7". I'm going to change that to 4.5. Pull that in just a little bit. And pull this in just a little bit. Okay. That feels a little better. So that'll be my pantry. I may adjust that more when I put kitchen cabinets in to make that kitchen work better. But for right now, it's blocked out and I know where it's at. All right, clean it up a little bit. Select delete, select delete, select right click and go to delete, select delete. Whatever you want to do to clean up your drawing makes you happy, that's up to you. Okay. All right, we're now at the living room, and we're moving right along here with our spaces. This is our main hallway coming through here, which is pretty good and working well. The living room is going off of this piece of wall here because they have that card table storage. We're going off this wall. The width is 15 feet, so we're just going to throw an offset, 15 feet, all the way over to there. And then again, make sure it's the value you want. So basically, when it does the offset, it goes from the outside to outside. So we've got 4.5 inches there that gets cut off. So that's why I have to go back in and verify it. It's just faster that way. It doesn't make a big difference. And then this, then just move this little blue dot up to there. And that is supposed to be 17 feet. That's where my numbers are off. Cool. So this guy right here needs to move up. And that is what's going to happen here now. So I'm going to take this wall and we're going to do this to it. And, well, let's do another model line. It works easier. Take a little model line right from that corner. And I'm going to go a little wide with it here. It's not that big a deal. And then do an offset. And I want this to be 17 feet. So put that in. Offset up. And this is going to change everything about this kitchen now. I need to do a move. So I'm going to do a move and then a window. Hold the left mouse button down and select everything you want to move. Right click and finish. And then grab that endpoint and go straight up to that green line. And now my kitchen functions, looks better, feels better. Everything's better. Okay, bigger is better. Okay, now my living room is working better. So this wall comes all the way down to here. And I can corner again over to here. Good. Now there's our living room. Moving right along. Now inside this wall right here will be where those columns are. We'll add those in a little bit. I might as well just keep moving systematically. I do have a dining room. What is the dining room currently that I need to put in? So I'm going to throw that in next. The offset, it's also 17 feet wide. So I'm just going to take this here. Cancel the command. And then modify the dimension to match. And then change. I should have changed it first. That was a mistake on my part. You should always match your walls up before you change them. Makes things a little better, a little more accurate. Accuracy is kind of important. You should be able, as a designer, make it so that there is only there's less than 10% waste of materials on a project. That is ultimately your goal, and kind of where we want to get to at some point. Put that into play there. So now I have that. And this is where that dining room is going to be. And this wall is going to tell me where the next exterior wall goes. The depth is 13 feet. Oops, I did that wrong. I did that so wrong. Here we go. Offset 17. Well, I've got it. It's going to go down 17. This is only 13. I read my dimension wrong. So you probably caught that and said, hey, buddy. And it says, I will fix it. And so we're going to do that. Now, about to do my stake in. This is an exterior wall. So match properties with an exterior brick. So that all looks pretty now. Corner, fix everything. Fix that, and fix that. And there is what is currently the dining room. Okay, so house is coming together pretty quick here. And we're going to take, let's just keep going. I think we're doing fine so far. We're not, but the living room's here. The living room doesn't give us a lot of help, so then work over to the master area. And again, we got a 3-foot minimum hallway, but this is the master. I'm actually going to make it 4 feet. So I'm doing offset. And 4 feet or 48 inches, whichever one you want to do. So if you do 48, you have to put the inches in. If you're doing the 4 feet, you just need the 4. Okay, so this is the hallway that's going to go and eventually become the master. This is going to have a wall. So I'm going to do a mirror. This wall. I'm going to find the midpoint. Now, the midpoint's a purple triangle. So if you find the purple triangle, you can just pull that straight up or down, and your wall goes right where you need it to be. Now, it's not quite lined up exactly, so I'm going to fix that just a little bit because you don't want a corner like this in a house. That's super expensive. So that's why we have the Align tool. We'll just make sure everything lines up nice and flush. Okay. And then we got our wall coming here. This line is over here. So I then do another mirror. Just pick a point, pop it up, corner it. And then I can get the width. Now the width of this is 18.5. So we're going to just draw a wall in. It's just, sometimes it's easier to do it this way. It's right up to you how you go about doing this. 18.5, match, modify, match properties, exterior. It's in the right orientation. Make sure the distance stayed the same. And it did, so we're good. Corner. Now I know where my exterior wall goes. It's right there. All right, now this master, this area here is 20 feet from this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw another wall in because it really is a little faster, I think, sometimes than to do all the measuring. Pop that dimension. Oops, let's match it first. It's going to be an interior partition, so 2x4 studs. And this depth here is going to be 18.5 feet. That's 18 foot 6 inches. And then we corner, and here's where the closets start. And we don't get a number for those closets, so I'm going to go ahead and corner backwards on it so I can get a number on there. And we're going to go ahead and pull this one down, and it can come down quite a bit. All right, so this is the bottom of the closets. Woohoo, isn't that nice? So we'll pull this one back in, or pull over, depending on how you end up drawing that line. You may extend it or shrink it down. All right, now right down to the middle here, I need to have a model line. And because I'm going to create that 3-foot hallway, your hallways have to be 3 feet. You can be larger, but they cannot be smaller. So I'm going to do that. We're going to do an offset of 1.5 feet. We'll go once that way and once that way. Now in this case, I'm actually going to stretch those out a little bit because I want to delete them in a minute, and I don't want to do a lot of extra digging. Go to wall. Just take a wall, grab that, drag it down, and drag another one on this side. And we're going to go and match those to change them. So they're just 2x4s, small little walls. And we got one's good, one's bad. Flip the one that's bad. And now I've got my hallway, so now I can delete those lines out. All right, now I'm going to use a slice tool. We have two slice tools. We have slice element and slice with a gap. I'm going to do slice element first, which turns my cursor into an X-Acto knife, and I just make a cut. And now that wall's cut. With a gap, I'm going to do that at the bottom, you have to do 2 cuts. Well, one, it puts a little big time gap in there. Either one's fine. I rarely use the one with a gap because it's always one more thing to remember. Then I just have to corner the walls together. And that gap, see, that gap has to stay, so I got to break the gap. And that is this little guy right here. So I'm going to break that, slide that over. Oh my gosh, it's got a lock on it. That's one of the reasons I don't like the gap. It has a lot more conditions and rules. And this is a good dizzy one. I got to fix that. So it took me a little more with the gap. Your choice. Like I say, I rarely use it. So there's our bedroom. There's our closets. We have a little powder room here, a little toilet closet. The smallest you can go on those is 30 inches. Don't do that to somebody. That's very claustrophobic. I'm going to give this a little more space. I'm going to go about 4 feet with it. And that's just a design choice. You need 30 inches for a water closet. You want some space, and when you're putting people in closets and turn out the lights on them, makes it a little dark. All right, now we can start bringing walls down. This one extends down, and this one extends down. This is a little linen closet. And this wall here is the same. So I'm just going to copy that one. So I'm going to do a copy, select that wall, finish, pick a point, and just slide it over in the area. Just in the area. And you might get an extra if you're lucky. All right, so what we have now is a crash. There is my, sorry about that. I just dropped my pencil case. There's your closet, nice big closet. Here is going to be that in-suite laundry. And so half of the space is going to be for a linen closet and half is going to be for that laundry area. Okay, now this wall lines up with this wall. So that's kind of a bearing wall, but not a critical one. So when we look at this space here, I'm going to work with the laundry side first. A washing machine and a dryer are about 30 inches square. So I need in there at least 3 feet. So I'm going to do an offset of 3 feet. And that's my bare minimum. Okay, that gives me room to work a little bit. Puts that wall there. Go ahead and adjust that wall length because it doesn't need to be up to there. It doesn't need to be here. Now, what that leaves me is a linen closet. If I look at the size, that's 2'6", that's 30 inches. Way too deep. If you put in like sheets and stuff, your arm is not that deep. You're not going to reach anything at the back. So the deepest I would ever go with a linen closet is 2 feet. Usually I only go 18 inches, so 1.5 feet. And that is plenty of room for towels and sheets and all this toiletries and stuff. It gives a little more room for that laundry. Excuse me. So, but that can shift. I mean, like I say, 2 feet works as well, and there's still plenty of room there. So here we have our, that's going to line up. We're going to actually line those up. Cool. That one's going away. And we're going to extend this down to here. And that's going to be a little bit nicer. I'm going to do that slice again, not the gap. Gap always has a little problem to it. A little extra work. I don't want to do extra work right now. All right, so now we got that and that. This is going to be part of the stairway, but we got a shower. Now the stairways have the same rules as halls. They have to be 3 feet wide minimum. So if we have an up or U stair like this one is, bring that back up, comes up around. So we got 3 feet and 3 feet. That's 6. Plus there's a wall piece in the middle. So if we go, if we go 6.5 feet, we should be able to fit that stair in and make some adjustments as needed. Okay, so that's this wall offset, 6.5 feet goes to there. We do have, cool, this will work out great. Now we just have to take this wall and bring it down, and this wall and bring it down most of the way. That's actually come all the way. It's all good. There's a little linen closet here for this library. It's only about 18 inches, so we're going to make an 18-inch one, much smaller than the other. And we'll just go in and, whoops, get a little click happy. Take and adjust that. And we'll put the stair in a little bit. There's my linen closet. The main bath is happening here. This wall comes back all the way to here for that closet area. And yeah, now we got to make that library. That library is 13 feet. So then do an offset. We're almost done, folks, with main floor walls. 13 feet, looks good. Modify that to be an exterior wall. Looks good even there. And the stair is going to be a little trickier. So we've got an entryway here. Most of the time I do entries about 8 feet, 6 to 8 feet. I don't go terribly crazy with them. Some do, but let's go 8-footer because 8 feels about right. Yep. Go 8 feet. And we can adjust this as needed if we get to where we have to have a little more space. Do the match. Exterior wall. Corner that together. So this is the library now forming. We do have a little entry system here. So we'll go about 6 feet, I think, there. So I'm just going to throw a wall in again. Match it. Make it an exterior wall. It's one way, so we'll flip it over. And set this at 6. Yeah, looks okay. Let's actually be a little bit more. Let's do adjustment here. Bring it to the outside. And take that 10.5 inches off of there. That looks better. And again, this is a look and feel. You'll get there with experience as you get doing more of these. The more you do, the better you get. The better you get, the more you end up doing. It's kind of a vicious cycle. Throw another wall in here. Again, that one needs to be flipped over because it's not aligning anymore. But we're going to modify first. Flip. Oh, I flip back. Dang it. And we're going to align the back of this wall. So we're going to alignment. I want the gypsum board and the gypsum board to line up, the wall board. Back to corner. We can do a line on this one. Make sure it comes in nice and tight. And this guy here is also no longer interior. We don't want brick on the inside of the house. So let's just slice it, corner it, modify it, match the properties of it. And it should be a line. So now use connections. And we're going to go ahead and close this all out until we finish out the stair. So I'm just going to bring these all together. And we'll make sure we know where that stair goes. So this is where the stairs are going to go. There's my closet. This guy comes... I might as well flip this one over. So do a quick mirror. Again, pick anywhere. Just pop it in there. And we can line it up in a moment. We have another wall. So I'm going to do this a little different quicker. I'm just going to throw walls in. Kind of funky way of doing it. But when you get to your next house, next quarter, you don't want to just be able to go fast. Faster the better. So let's corner these all up and see how it lines up. That comes down here. And we want this inside to line up with this inside. So we're going to do an alignment inside of the linen closet here for the shower with this one there. And there's your library and your garden bath. And then this wall here comes all the way down. And we're going to just shift it again probably. Yep. So that's where the garden tub goes. This is your library. And again, this can be changed and stretched. So right now that's 12 feet. It should have been 13. So I can make it 13. That's not a big deal. Just pop it out a little bit. This can be changed. So if you want to add more feet to that, you can. But that completes our main floor walls. All right in there real quick and fast. And next, we'll start putting in doors and windows.